Things just got a whole load worse for Meghan Markle because her sister Samantha ain't going anywhere.
What if the perfect royal fairy tale wasn't so perfect after all?
People think her kids are fake. They think they're AI.
Insiders say Meghan Markle's carefully polished image is beginning to crack.
She delivered it like an actress delivered it. An opera responded going, wow.
And at the center of the storm is none other than her half-sister Samantha Markle.
In my opinion, she would still be a waitress if it wasn't for Dad.
For years, Samantha has been painted as the bitter outsider.
Silence everybody and just produce a DNA sample.
But sources suggest she's been holding on to receipts that could flip the entire narrative upside down.
I do believe because there are no delivery certificates.
We're talking about photographs, timelines, and family details that challenge the version of events the world thought it knew.
Meghan Markle likely spent time with Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein before she even met Prince Harry.
And now whispers from the courtroom hint that these secrets aren't just family gossip anymore.
Listen, I brought Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament.
They're being laid out in a way that could shake Meghan's reputation across Hollywood, the media, and even within royal circles.
They want to hide their secrets, and I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know.
But here's the shocking part. What Samantha has brought forward may not only expose contradictions in Meghan's story, but also trigger fallout that reaches the highest levels of power, from producers in Los Angeles to palace insiders in London.
She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy for all of my celebrities.
Harry, being a simple soul, has easily changed to suit Meghan's agenda.
So buckle up, because what started as a sibling feud is spiraling into a saga of loyalty, betrayal, and explosive revelations that no one, not even Meghan herself, can fully control. And trust me, the most jaw-dropping twist is still to come.
It is interesting how she's exposing her as a yacht girl, someone who was paid off by rich men to go and hang out.
For years, Samantha Markle has been cast as the shadowy figure in Meghan's glittering rise, a character in the background often described as bitter, jealous, or irrelevant. But insiders now claim that image was far too simple and far too convenient. Sources say Samantha, now in her early 60s and living with significant health challenges, has been quietly collecting details for years-old family photographs, school memories, shared milestones, even correspondence that directly contradict the picture Meghan has painted of her child. Insiders suggest this wasn't just idle resentment, it was a deliberate effort to safeguard the truth, knowing that at some point her half-sister's global fame would inevitably pull their family into the spotlight.
I don't like to say it, but I gotta say it. I don't know of anybody that cold to do this.
While Meghan's story unfolded across Oprah's stage and Netflix's glossy productions, Samantha remained in the wings, reportedly feeling erased and vilified by narratives that cast Meghan as the isolated victim and herself as the opportunistic relative. But according to whispers from those close to the situation, Samantha was never content to stay silent forever. Instead, she was patient, waiting for the moment to challenge the world's perception and step forward with what she believes is undeniable evidence. That moment, sources say, has arrived.
Yeah, well, it's as if Meghan is now trying to turn your own daughter against you.
Right.
Insiders report that Samantha's persistence has pushed this family rift far beyond tabloids and talk shows, landing squarely in front of serious eyes who now have to consider whether Meghan's story was as polished as it appeared. And for viewers watching from the sidelines, the transformation is shocking. The woman once dismissed as background noise has suddenly become a central player in a royal-adjacent drama that feels more like a Hollywood thriller than a family dispute. But as gripping as that is, the real storm begins not with Samantha's determination to speak, but with the specific claims she's bringing forward. Because what she reveals next touches on Meghan's most famous interview, and it may change everything.
I grew up as an only child, which everyone who grew up around me knows. I would have loved to have had siblings. That's why I'm so excited to be pregnant, so that Archie has someone.
When Meghan sat with Oprah in that headline-making interview, one line struck millions of viewers. She described herself as having grown up as an only child. It was emotional, powerful, and painted her as someone who faced the world without siblings or family support. But sources say that claim may have opened the door to one of her biggest controversies yet. Insiders close to Samantha insist Meghan's words brushed aside years of shared family moments that prove otherwise. Photographs spanning birthdays, graduations, and everyday milestones reportedly show the sisters together well into adulthood. One image from 2008, often cited by insiders, places Meghan at Samantha's college graduation long after Meghan suggested they had drifted apart.
I mean, her father is recovering from a stroke, literally about a 3-hour drive. I mean, could you believe that? She doesn't have a father.
People familiar with the family recall Samantha driving Meghan to school, helping with homework, and even tagging along on shopping trips. Those details don't match the image of isolation that Meghan presented on television, and critics argue this contradiction has weakened her credibility. Defenders claim Meghan may have been speaking about feeling emotionally like an only child, but the optics remain damaging. The contrast is sharp. Meghan's tearful words about loneliness versus receipts suggesting regular family ties. For Samantha, insiders say this moment was the breaking point. The interview wasn't just a story, it was history being written in real time, and she feared her role in Meghan's life was being erased. That frustration, sources suggest, turned into determination, fueling her decision to bring forward evidence she believes the world can't ignore.
I'll tell you why. What she told the royal family, what she told Harry, wouldn't have jived, wouldn't have been consistent with the truth.
After hearing the claims about Meghan's only child statement, do you believe it was a slip of words or a deliberate choice? What started as a messy family feud quickly escalated into something far darker, and insiders say Samantha Markle became the unexpected target of a storm she never saw come. After Meghan's blockbuster interviews aired worldwide, sources claim Samantha was bombarded by disturbing messages from what many describe as Meghan's most aggressive online supporters. These weren't the usual critical comments that come with public attention. Insiders suggest the threats were violent, graphic, and frighteningly specific. Sources say there were mentions of acid attacks, threats that forced Samantha to move homes, and coordinated harassment campaigns that seemed designed to break her down emotionally and socially.
You were paying multi-million-dollar PR firms to tell your story the way you controlled it, the way you wanted it told, while you also disparaged and silenced others.
Court documents reportedly referenced attempts to tamper with her public records, painting her as someone horrible or abusive in what observers described as a calculated effort to destroy her reputation. Behind the headlines, insiders reveal Samantha was left shaken, struggling to understand how defending her side of the story could trigger such dangerous fallout. What alarmed many close to the situation was not just the intensity of the harassment, but the organization behind it. Sources claim this wasn't the work of random trolls, but groups working in unison, amplifying hashtags, and spreading doctored images in ways that felt like a full-scale campaign. For Samantha, who already faced health struggles, this wave of online hostility transformed a personal dispute into a battle for safety. Yet instead of silencing her, insiders say the threats fueled her determination to speak louder, framing herself not as the villain in Meghan's tale, but as a survivor of targeted intimidation.
Someday Meghan's going to realize that she's obviously missing out on a really good, tight-knit family. I mean, we're all still together all the time, no matter what.
And just as the harassment reached its peak, a new chapter unfolded when Meghan and Harry signed their massive Netflix deal, an event that would catapult the feud onto an even bigger stage, with Samantha caught directly in the spotlight. When Meghan and Harry signed their multi-million-dollar Netflix deal, it was marketed as a chance to finally tell their story on their own terms. But insiders say the documentary didn't just amplify Meghan's voice, it also dragged Samantha directly into the global spotlight. Sources point to a particularly explosive moment when Christopher Bouzy, a tech entrepreneur and vocal Meghan supporter, labeled Samantha part of a so-called hate group. The portrayal painted her as a dangerous online agitator, a striking contrast to the reality of a 60-year-old woman living with health challenges. Critics argue the optics backfired. Instead of making Meghan look like the victim of harassment, the scenes left viewers questioning why such a vulnerable figure was framed as a genuine threat. Insiders suggest Samantha viewed the documentary as the final straw.
And when you're pregnant, there's not a pillow under your skirt. And there's live footage of her walking towards camera with her abdomen swaying left to right in a black and white checkered dress.
For years, she had quietly pushed back against Meghan's claims, but the Netflix series broadcast her name and image to millions, reinforcing the narrative that she was malicious. Sources say this not only fueled the public's hostility toward her, but also gave her stronger motivation to defend herself and her reputation. The irony, according to observers, is that the very project designed to strengthen Meghan's global brand ended up giving Samantha more visibility than ever before. And with that visibility came a renewed determination to challenge Meghan's version of events. Yet just as the Netflix fallout was unfolding, another family voice stepped into the chaos, this time Meghan's father, who had his own set of revelations to share. Do you think the Netflix documentary helped or hurt Meghan's image in the long run? Just when the spotlight seemed fixed on Meghan and Samantha, insiders say Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, reignited the family drama with blunt revelations that cut straight through her carefully polished narrative.
I think she's taking advantage of a very weakened man and getting him to say things that you just shouldn't be saying on television.
Sources claim Thomas has been openly critical of his daughter's media image, calling it fake and inauthentic, words that shocked even longtime royal watchers. According to those close to him, he has repeatedly emphasized that Meghan's portrayal of a lonely, struggling childhood doesn't align with the lifestyle he provided. Insiders point out that Thomas highlighted details like frequent family dinners at upscale restaurants such as Musso and Frank, describing outings that challenge Meghan's story of eating alone or living off TV dinners. Observers note that this contradiction strikes at the heart of Meghan's brand, which which often leans on hardship and resilience. Critics argue that if Thomas's version is accurate, it suggests her public image has been strategically curated rather than authentically lived. Supporters counter that Meghan's emotional truth may still hold weight, but the clash of perspectives has undeniably deepened the public's fascination with her family divide. For Samantha, insiders suggest Thomas's words validated her long-standing claims, bolstering the sense that Meghan's narrative has left key family members erased or distorted. And for viewers, the involvement of their father transformed what had been framed as a sibling rivalry into a multi-generational rift with no easy resolution. Yet, as explosive as Thomas's comments were, they were soon overshadowed by an even more controversial subject, one that has followed Meghan since the day her pregnancies became headline news. Out of everything revealed, Samantha's claims, Thomas Markle's comments, or the Hollywood whispers, what shocked you the most?
So all of the pictures, my point is, out there were inconsistent with the idea of a real pregnancy.
Among all the controversies that have swirled around Meghan Markle, few have been as persistent or as explosive as the whispers about her pregnancies. Insiders say speculation reignited after a resurfaced hospital video, where Meghan was seen dancing and moving in ways that fueled renewed scrutiny. Sources claim online commentators pointed out details they found unusual, the bump appearing too high, too firm, or shifting in ways that didn't seem natural. While most dismissed these theories as conspiracy-driven nonsense, observers note that the optics alone have been damaging, keeping Meghan's name tied to rumors long after the original moment passed. Palace insiders, according to reports, were said to be unsettled by how the footage was received, with one source even describing the display as classless and tragic behind closed doors. For Meghan, the persistence of this theory illustrates the unique scrutiny she faces, where every gesture becomes fodder for public debate. But for her critics, insiders suggest the conspiracy served as symbolic confirmation of a larger theme, that Meghan carefully curates her image, sometimes to extremes that invite skepticism. Whether the rumors hold any truth or not, the controversy added yet another layer to Samantha's ongoing narrative, reinforcing claims that Meghan's public persona often veers far from reality. And just as the conspiracy chatter dominated online spaces, another narrative began to build across the Atlantic.
I don't think anybody at Netflix could have seen the show before it went out, because it's not entertainment, it's not edifying in any way. It's really, really bizarre.
As whispers from Hollywood executives revealed that Meghan's brand might not be as untouchable as it once appeared. At first, Meghan's leap into Hollywood seemed unstoppable. A global name, a royal title, and a lucrative Netflix contract promised to make her one of the industry's most bankable stars. But insiders say the buzz has begun to cool, and studios are growing hesitant. Sources claim her Netflix cooking series failed to break into weekly charts, falling short of the kind of cultural moment the streamer had hoped for. Industry observers suggest executives are quietly taking a step back, waiting to see how Meghan's public image weathers the growing storm of family drama and online backlash before committing to new projects. Insiders even whisper that Prince Harry is choosing to distance himself from some of Meghan's career decisions, preferring to focus on his own ventures, a move that has sparked speculation about tensions behind the scenes. Critics argue this cooling reception is a sign that Meghan's brand, once fueled by sympathy and glamour, may be losing traction in an industry that moves quickly when momentum fades. Supporters counter that Hollywood always plays a long game, and that Meghan still commands enormous recognition, but the uncertainty itself is telling. For Samantha's camp, insiders suggest this shift feels like proof that Meghan's narrative isn't resonating as strongly as it once did. And while Hollywood hesitates, another set of eyes is watching with far more interest: the royal family, who, according to palace sources, may be quietly reveling in Meghan's unraveling image.
And I travelled the world with him, and I did really enjoy working with him. But now I really don't care if I ever see him again, because the way he's behaved towards the king and our queen and his brother and his sister-in-law is appalling.
Do you think the Netflix documentary helped or hurt Meghan's image in the long run? Behind palace walls, insiders say Meghan's ongoing drama is being watched with a mix of fascination and quiet satisfaction. For years, royal aides reportedly warned that her approach to media and family relationships could backfire. And now, sources claim those predictions are playing out in real time. According to reports, senior figures in the royal family remain deeply reluctant to reconcile, fearing that any private interaction could be spun into the next headline or documentary moment. Observers note that this mistrust has solidified Meghan's isolation, leaving her increasingly reliant on Hollywood connections that now appear to be wavering. For Samantha, insiders suggest this is vindication. Her persistence is no longer dismissed as bitterness, but recognized as a challenge to Meghan's tightly managed image. And for palace watchers, the dynamic feels almost Shakespearean, a carefully constructed narrative beginning to crumble under the weight of receipts, contradictions, and family voices refusing to stay silent. Whether Meghan manages to rebuild her brand or faces a continued decline, one thing is clear: the family drama she tried to control has become a global spectacle far bigger than she ever imagined. And as shocking as these revelations are, the story is far from over. If you thought this breakdown was wild, wait until you see what we uncovered last time. It connects directly to everything you just heard and makes the picture even more explosive. So don't miss it. You're watching Star Spotlight, where the truth behind the headlines always shines brighter.